What's going on, guys? Alain Gonzalez here, MuscleMonsters.com, and I want to welcome you to another episode of Ask Alain, where I take your questions directly from my Facebook fan page and answer them right here in one of these videos. So without further ado, let's get right into it. The first question comes from Lee Lottie. Why is it when I do bicep curls, my left elbow walks away from my side? I can't get it to stay for the whole set. Lee, what I think is happening here is you have a bit of a strength imbalance. Maybe one arm is a little bit stronger than the other, and that's totally normal. What I would recommend is focusing on unilateral movements, maybe dumbbells, where you work one arm at a time and you never outwork the weaker arm with the stronger arm. But I do think that it's worth mentioning that this is not a big deal and it will correct itself over time naturally. Alright, so I wouldn't even really worry about it. Elliot, hi Alain, how do you plan your nutrition? Do you cook in bulk? Give me some tips, please. I have problems because I work and it's difficult to follow a nutrition plan. Thanks in advance, my friend. Alright, Elliot, I don't have, I guess you could call it a nutrition plan. I wouldn't call it a nutrition plan, but what I have is guidelines, okay? So I have a set amount of calories that I have to consume for the day. Those calories are broken down into a specific amount of fats, carbs, and proteins. I also know that I need a certain amount of fiber, and I know that every time I sit down to eat, I want to have a serving of vegetables or a fruit. All right? So, two things you can do. Number one, you can do the simple thing, and on your days off or when you have free time, during the day or at night, cook in bulk, so you have food to bring to work. Or you can set your macronutrient intake with a few guidelines like the ones I mentioned and do this. When you wake up in the morning before work, assuming that you work in the morning, you have a nice full breakfast, okay? You enter those numbers into whatever calculator you use. I recommend MyFitnessPal, all right? So you put those in and those should fit your macronutrients for the day. When you're at work, I assume you get a lunch break. During that lunch break, go ahead and have a meal that fits into those numbers, okay? Once you get home, maybe you have a pre-workout meal before you go to the gym. Do the same. You have a meal that you want to have. Obviously, you don't want to eat bullshit, but you take that meal and you enter that into your macronutrients. And then after the gym, I assume you might have a post-workout meal or maybe 2 meals before you go to bed, whatever the case may be. Now you have X amount of fats, carbs, and proteins left for the entire day. Your only goal with this last meal or two is to finish off whatever's left in your macronutrients, all right? I hope that made sense to you. And let's get into the next question. Anthony Jenkins. Whoops. Anthony, where are you at? All right, how often should you work on a lagging body part if you want it to grow faster? Two things. Number one, I would increase the frequency and start training it twice a week. So designate 2 days, maybe Monday and Friday. Every Monday and Friday is your day to train that lagging muscle group. Also, let's say that your lagging muscle group is your biceps, and you typically do biceps with your back. I would recommend that you start doing your biceps first and then training your back afterwards. All right? Next question. If my goal is achieving both strength and hypertrophy, what rep ranges should I work in? Is it better to do 3 to 5 on some sets and 8 to 12 on other, or just mix it up 5 to 8 reps every set? Steve, great question. There's 2 ways you can go about doing this. Number one, you can have your routine broken down into hypertrophy days and strength days. So on your hypertrophy days, you only use a hypertrophy rep range. And then on your strength days, you only use a strength rep range. Or you can do what I do, and has been working out very well. Here's how it works. Let's say I'm going to do my push workout, all right? And it's my push workout A where my chest goes first. All right, I focus, my first big movement is the one that I want to improve. So it would be, for example, my bench press. On the bench press, I stick to strength training. I do this by wave loading. You don't have to, but basically it's CNS-based training where you are priming the nervous system by lifting heavy. All right, and then after that, you go into your accessory work where you hit your regular hypertrophy rep ranges. Okay, so that's two options that you can use. People will probably ask which one's better. They both work great. Just pick one and stick to it. All right, guys? And this will be the last question. Bilal Siddiqui. Most of the time when I do my bench press, I feel my triceps more than my chest. I've noticed my triceps get much bigger and stronger, but the chest is simply whatever. How do I hit the chest effectively? Bilal, that's a great question, man. And I actually had a friend that had this problem. Here's the problem. A lot of the time, people don't understand that when you're training your chest, it's not just about pushing the barbell up, right? It's about getting the humerus across the chest. That's how you shorten the pec. Okay, so for one, if you want to do this at home, you can. Pretend you have a bar and you're pushing it straight up, all right? Now you're going to see that your triceps are contracted, but your chest is really not that tightened. All right, so the first thing you want to do is bring it down. All right, so the barbell has to go to the nipples. All right, that's going to allow more of the humerus to go across the body. Now, a big tip that I'm going to give you is when you're doing this, because you can't really squeeze in with a barbell, what you want to do is at the top of the range with the bar, just try to squeeze it together. All right, and that's going to give you a much better contraction on your chest. All right, guys, I hope you found that helpful. If you did, make sure to click the like button below. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.